Patrick here, have Cheetah Review, and welcome to Dollar Theater. Dollar Theater is an ongoing series where we watch and review films that we have gotten for $1.25 or less. First of all, thanks for coming back. Glad you're here. We just wrapped up our Murdoch Mystery set, our pilot movies. Um, I had hoped that would have done better, but it's an interesting series, very cool series, and I really enjoyed talking about the three pilot films. Um, but we're gonna go back. We're gonna have some little bit of fun, and then I'll show you what we got coming up for the next few weeks. There is gonna be we're gonna take one movie. We're gonna talk about this one movie, the one we're talking about today, and then I'll show you a 4 week series that we're gonna plan on doing starting the Monday after this one does. And I think hopefully it'll be interesting. It'll be the first time I've ever done something like this on the channel. As far as that goes, bring it back, talking about a iconic franchise. Uh, I know, right? Well, how can you talk about an iconic franchise for on Dollar Theater? You can when you only get the movies for 25 cents a piece. But today's movie is dedicated to our good friend Professor Macabro. He and I were talking off camera, and we're talking about different movies that we're looking for. He mentioned this movie. He says, "Well, if you could ever get a hold of that." And the week after he mentioned it, lo and behold, it popped up at my library. I was actually really tickled because it's like, man, that's some psychic ability right there. The movie we'll be talking about today, that the professor and I were talking about, 2014's Scooby-Doo and the Wrestlemania Mystery. As you can see, the library stickers are all over the place. So, some of you may know, so if you're new to the Dollar Theater or not, I do have playlists out there. We have talked about Scooby-Doo before on Dollar Theater. He is not new here. Um, so this is a 2014 film in conjunction with WWE and Warner Brothers. I had never seen it before, and so I decided that, hey, we need to go ahead and watch this. This is actually the 22nd film, I think it was. It was like the 22nd or the 23rd film that a full feature film that Scooby and the gang have done. So the movies are very, very popular, but we'll talk about that in a bit. So the movie opens up with a mysterious event happening at WWE WrestleMania City, where we see the Miz is out there working out, and he's being looked at by Kane, and Kane seems to be really sort of crazy, and he goes out there and he attacks the Miz, and you can definitely tell something's not quite right with Kane. And Miz gives a good fight, but Kane is, he's the big red machine, and so as he leaves the Miz a little bit mugged, and then while Miz is putting together his wits, he's attacked by, looks to be like a giant mechanical ghost bear, and he is, and so the bear comes over and messes up the Miz a little bit. And then we open up with our heroes. Our heroes are playing a video game. Shaggy and Scooby are playing this wrestle game, and Scooby actually wins. He wins. He's playing as Sin Cara, and he pins John Cena. And then because he won, then he has to do this crazy dance, and he does, and he does it 100% right, and that enables him to win a ticket to WrestleMania with him and some friends. So that's a very exciting news, except for the gang from Mystery Inc. are not really wrestling fans. Fred's into his camera. Daphne's like doing anything but. Velma's like, well, I'm trying to catch up on my reading. But then Shag brings out photographic proof of all the times that the gang has asked Shaggy and Scoob to go out there and put their butts on the line to stop a bad guy. So they sort of guilt them into like, hey, we do all this for you all the time. You can at least give us one trip to WrestleMania. So that's how we see Mystery Inc. Heading off to WrestleMania. As they go, they swerve to avoid a raccoon, and they crash the van. But luckily, John Cena's there along with his trainer Cookie and Cookie's son Ruben, and they help the gang get back on the road. Good thing for Shag and Scoob is Daphne sees John Cena, and now she's a whole hell of a lot interested in wrestling. So that's a good thing. So they go into there and they find out that things have been going on. A little bit creepy. As the show starts getting underway, at WrestleMania weekend starts getting underway, Mr. McMahon comes out and he shows the brand new championship belt that they'll be wrestling for WrestleMania since Kane had lost the title. The match that Kane had been in, the results have been overturned, and now the belt is up to grab. Daphne and Velma, while they're in their own room, they hear Cookie and Ruben talking, and Ruben wants to be a WWE superstar, but his Cookie's saying you don't really want to do that because you could get hurt. It'd be better off for you to go back to school and get your degree and go into computers. And we see that Cookie has a brace on his leg because he himself, that's what happened to him. He got hurt early on, and he couldn't be a wrestler anymore. So he didn't want that to happen to Ruben. So he says, go back to school. It'll be better for you. So we go ahead and we see this all of a sudden this ghost bear has been coming in and around, and it's been terrifying the whole WrestleMania experience. It's been popping in there, doing destructive things and disappearing. So the gang, Mr. McMahon asked the gang to go ahead and to help protect the belt, and as they do, Sin Cara's also explaining about the ghost bear, and he's doing it. He can't speak, so John Cena says, "Don't worry, I can speak luchador," and Sin Cara explains how the original ghost bear, that his great grandfather took it on in the same area, and in fact had indeed buried it in a cave. But in doing so, Sin Cara's great grandfather hurt his leg and could not wrestle anymore. The bear was upset. Because they had built the land for WrestleMania, for the wrestling. Back then they were doing wrestling way back when, where the bear was upset because they were using the land for WrestleMania, and or for shows back then. So anyway, the bear as a spirit has come back, and now the bear spirit wants revenge on WrestleMania, and is coming back and threatening everything. When Mr. McMahon asked the gang if they would guard the belt, Miss Richards, who's an executive, tells Mr. McMahon that she doesn't need them. She's got top-notch security, but Mr. McMahon insists on the Mystery Inc. Working the event. So they start. And next thing you know, Scooby is actually caught stealing the belt. He has stolen the championship belt, and they got him on camera. They got him red-handed, and they noticed one thing. They noticed that the dance moves that Scooby had won the contest for were the same dance moves that he used to steal the belt, and they figure out that Scooby has been hypnotized, deeply hypnotized. He did not, and so Ruben gets him off the hook. And Daphne and Velma all back him up. But it still looks like they're going to go to jail for it. But Mr. McMahon comes up with a better idea. Says, well, I tell you what, if you can go to jail, or you could wrestle for the belt. You got to wrestle Kane for the championship belt. So Scooby and Shaggy agree to do the belt. AJ Lee and Cookie help them out. Give them some uniforms, give them some tips, and and AJ Lee comes across as crazy as batshit, just as she did in real life. That was actually a highlight. she comes across being really sweet, and then Shaggy says something to make her go crazy, and sure enough, she goes crazy. Uh, so now now they find the cave where the bear's at, so they have to go investigate it. And for a ghost bear, he has a lot of equipment and books and other shenanigans in there that tells you that maybe the ghost bear is not a real ghost bear. Um, but who could it be? Who could the ghost bear be? And well, we'll have to find the movie to find out. Uh, so I gotta tell you, I liked this movie. I did. I liked it. But I tell you, the problem I had with it was, man, the pacing at the beginning of the film was terrible. This movie is like an hour and 20 minutes, I think. Hour and 25 minutes. And the first 30 minutes is dragging. There's nothing going on. I was really surprising, because he thought there'd be a lot more action. Um, but the last 2/3 of the movie does pick it up, and I gotta tell you something. Didn't see the crook. I must be slowing down. Most of the time, you can always pick out who's gonna be. I didn't. Not until the reveal. I did not get who did it. I was, I was actually really surprised, and that's a good thing these days. It actually would have been one of the last people I would have suspected. And there's a cast of many here. Um, but like I said, the last 2/3 of the movie gets going, and it's a lot of fun. Um, I think what really adds a lot of punch to this movie too is the fact that the wrestlers all use their speaking voices. A lot of times in shows like this, they'll have a famous name, but they don't have the voice. They don't have the actual person, so they have to use a voice actor to do it. But for this one, all the voices of the wrestlers, the Mr. McMahon, they were all their own. They used all their own voices, and it really helps the movie out quite a bit. Um, this is the first two for a Scooby-Doo cartoon, and this was actually rated PG. This was actually before. It's the first time that it had been as far as TV ratings when it premiered on Cartoon Network. It actually got a PG because of all the wrestling violence. And you know what? Probably probably a good idea, because this movie was it was pretty action packed once it got rolling, and but there was a lot of comedy in it as well. A lot of comedy, a lot of good laughs, and the voice cast is top notch again. Of course, as we know, Frank Welker came back as Scooby and Fred Jones. Mindy Cohen from The Facts of Life. She played Velma Dinkley. She did a great job as Velma. I think she's great. Gray DeSile Griffin, who's a queen of voice acting, played Daphne. Matthew Lillard, he played Shaggy in this one. This is one of the ones where he played Shaggy. Um, and also we had Charles S. Dutton as Cookie, Mary McCormick as Miss Richards, John Cena, AJ Lee, Santino Morella, The Miz, Triple H, Michael Cole, Mr. McMahon, Brodus Clay, Kane, all played themselves and all used their voices. Sin Cara doesn't speak, so in character, so there's no Sin Cara voice. Bumper Robinson played Ruben, and a couple of regulars for Warner Brothers Animation, DC, and really DC and Warner Brothers. Fred Tatasciore played the Ghost Bear voice, and then Corey Burton, who's done a lot of the DC animated movies. He also had a feature role in it as well. And there are several wrestlers that were appeared in cameos, but they didn't have a speaking voice. They didn't have a speaking part. I really liked this. I thought the mystery was really strong. Like I said, it is a dogfight. I mean, the pacing for the first 30 minutes is slow. Once it gets going, it'll hold your attention, and you'll be very entertained. And I dare you, I challenge you to find out who it really was before it's revealed. I don't think you're going to. They really hit it well. This was a very well written story, and this was actually directed by Brandon Venti, but it was written by a gentleman, Michael Ryan. And this is a 10-year-old movie, and they did follow this up. They did follow this up with a WWE. It was called the Demon Speed Buggy, or the Demon Buggy. And in that one, that was supposed to feature Hulk Hogan in a big role, but then Hulk's mouth got him in trouble and got him fired. So he did not make it in. But yeah, that's a different story for a different time, and I haven't gotten the movie yet either. There's some special features on here. The WWE superstars talk about how much happy they were doing this in this movie, and I'll be honest with you, they really, they really did seem to be happy to play themselves in a cartoon and a Scooby-Doo movie. It didn't come across as, man, I can't believe what we're doing for $1. They actually seemed very entertained. And it did come across as that during the movie too. Their voices work was really good. They seemed very happy to be there. There's, like I said, there's a lot of comedy here. There's a lot of laughs. So they seemed to be happy to be here. It wasn't just something else that Vince dragged them through. They seemed to be really enthusiastic, and that really comes across. And that's important in a movie like this because even kids can pick that up. I highly recommend this one. I do. I recommend this one despite the slow start. But I recommend it for the last hour. The last hour kicked butt. Scooby-Doo and the Wrestlemania Mystery is a winner here on Dollar Theater. All right, real quick. After this comes out, after you watch this, we're going to be doing something else. We're going to be doing a 4-week series. 4-week series. It's not the entire franchise. It's the core 4 of this franchise. And 2 of these movies I have not seen before. And the movies that we'll be talking about will be the Alien Legacy. So we'll be talking about this soon enough. Aliens, Aliens 3, and Aliens Resurrection in that order. We'll be watching and reviewing this. So we're looking forward to it. I know you're saying, didn't you get this in Blu-ray just the other week? I did. But I also gotten this beforehand. And since I don't have my Blu-ray player yet, I decided to hang on to this and so I could watch it on DVD. All right, so hopefully that'll keep you entertained a little bit here on Dollar Theater. If you're new to my channel, hit the like button. Yeah, thanks so much, and we will talk at you soon. Peace.